So I'll start with a story before I start the talk. You know, as we get older, our time units change. So when we are young, we say, last year or a year or two ago, then 3-4 years ago, then 5-7 years ago, then 10 years ago. I'm in the stage that the unit of time is a century. Half a century ago, I came to Tel Aviv University after 1 year postdoc at IBM Yorktown. These were good old times because 1 year after PhD, I got a Marce Bachir. 2 years later, Professor Haver. 1 year later, I was the chairman, that you forgot, I was the chairman, second chairman after Amir Noeli, who was the first chairman, while being borrowed from the Weizmann Institute. Ronnie was his master student, and she was my TA in my Fortran course. And 6.5 years after PhD, I was full professor. I don't think it's possible now, because the bureaucrats made sure you cannot do it. So the title of my talk is a question. OMSCS is the name of our program. Online or Master of Science, MS, in Computer Science, CS. OMSCS, that's the name of our program. And it's a question. Is it the best degree program, academic degree program ever? You ask me, I don't know. I know of somebody that thinks so. Somebody that is the board of American Association of Colleges and Universities, and he writes for Forbes on education. And that's his title. The greatest degree program ever. And I'll read to you a quote from his article. Enrollment in degree-seeking programs across US higher education have been on decline since 2011, with roughly 4 million fewer students today. The most recent data from the National Student Clearinghouse showed master's degree growth at a meager 0.2% over last year. In stark contrast to this national trend is Georgia Tech's online master's in computer science, launched just 10 years ago. So that was in 2023, when we were 10 years old. 10 years ago, it now boasts more than 10,000 graduates and currently enrolls more than 12,000 students. It is, by nearly any measure, the most successful academic program in history. So, do you think it's true? I'm not sure, but I'll take it.
You have a counter example?
So what are we talking? I told you already, OMSCS, Online Master of Science in Computer Science, collaboration among Georgia Tech, Udacity, and AT&T, and I'll explain in a second what is the nature of the collaboration. Announced in May 2013, launched in January 2014. So it's now in its 13th year, and I'm still giving talks about it. Don't go away and don't be offended. You know, like you told me, don't be offended. So please don't be offended. It's lecture number 131. The first two were at Stanford to the faculty by invitation of the president, Hennessy, to the faculty and to the board. And the third was PCAST. Anybody knows what PCAST is? Presidential Council of Advisors in Science and Technology. It was Obama's PCAST. So it was launched a launch in January 2014 with 380 students and 5 courses. Where are we today? 19,000 students. So somebody said, and I have no way to check it, this is the largest academic program in any subject in the world. Actually, our president gave a talk about it. He said, Tzvi says it's in the world, I say in the galaxy. So far, 16,500 graduates, more than 2,000 in the last 3 years, 7,000 total. So in 3 years, 7,000 more. So in 6 years, we'll get to 30,000, probably, graduates. So this is really the scale here, you know. Scale is unbelievable. Yes. What? No, only courses, 10 courses. We say to them, no, it's not, it's only courses. But if there are special students, you know, we have soft hearts. So, but we cannot give physicists to 19,000 students. It's impossible. 52 courses, 17 in other programs that they can take, 20 courses in AI, including machine learning. So we probably is another the largest number of courses and the largest number of students in AI in the US and probably in the world. Quickly look at this. We're a little bit pressed for time. The last course in red is a project course. It's called Computing for Good. 4 or 5 students in a group connecting with a non-profit that gives them the project, and they use it. So they guide them and they use it for the good of the country or whatever. Okay. And what's amazing is 4 or 5 students in 4 corners of the world. That's one big advantage on on-campus courses. People in very far places welcome joint project. The largest courses, this is the 5 courses, that's 2 semesters ago, or 3. 3 about 1,000. 5 courses about 1,000. 4,000 between 950 and 1,000. The red courses are AI. We are the leaders, one of the leaders in teaching students with disabilities. So actually, there was a student, you cannot read it, so I'll read it to you from this page. She finished the degree. She is fully paralyzed. Something palsy, you know, I forgot. Yeah, you know it. And she writes, her name is Maitri Shah. It always seems impossible until it's done, Nelson Mandela. So she starts with a quote from Nelson Mandela. You will find me uncharacteristically upbeat as I inform you that I now hold a master's degree in computer science from Georgia Institute of Technology, the USA, specializing in interactive intelligence, interactive design plus artificial intelligence. Each master degree they have to choose one specialization. So and there are quite a few of those. This feat, though not usually considered great, has been the biggest learning and humbling experience for me and pushed me over my limits. She had some limits. So how did it start? November 2000, the first MOOC. MOOC is massive open online courses. I'm not sure. I think Tel Aviv University also created some MOOCs. It was AI by Peter Norvig and Sebastian Tran. Both of them were in Stanford and in Google. And they thought the course had, in late 2011, 160,000 students. 24,000 students finished, which was good. MOOC usually finish in single digits. That was 15 or 17%. Okay? And we'll get to it later. In early 12, 3 companies that are platforms of MOOCs, Coursera, Udacity, and edX. edX was Harvard and MIT together. The other one, no connection to a university, even though Daphna Kohler was from Stanford. And Udacity was Sebastian Tran, who was also kind of from Stanford, but the university had nothing to do with it. New York Times, actually Thomas Friedman, called the 2012 year the year of the MOOC. in September, Sebastian visited Georgia Tech and came to see me. He told me, Tzvi, MOOC, what is MOOC? MOOC is a free course. A little later, they introduce certificates. So you pass the exam, you pay $50, you get a certificate. What can you do with a certificate? Hang it in the bathroom. It's nothing. The idea is to have a full-fledged degree for the first time. And he said, Tzvi, let's do a master's degree for $1,000. He said $1,000 because MOOC is free. In the era of the MOOC, nobody thought about money. So he said $1,000. And I told Sebastian, I have pretty good intuition with numbers, especially with the dollar side. And I told Sebastian, 1,000 won't do, 4,000 will do. Turned out I was right. It was perfect intuition, because if we did 4,000, we would break even. But we did it a little more. I'll get to it in a moment. So I fell in love with the idea. So I wanted to go to the faculty. But before I go to faculty, I have to go to the leadership. If the president and provost say you cannot do it, in the university, you cannot do it. But then the first two kudos to them. One, they immediately agreed. Probably because they understood nothing about it. And I'm not making fun of them, because I didn't have an idea what it's going to be. I didn't have a guess even where it will go. So let it, if he wants to do it, do it. So two kudos for them. There is a third one coming up. Okay. So after they gave me the green light, I decided to go to the faculty. I strongly believe in the faculty. In university, you cannot do anything without the faculty. Actually, there is a very nice story from Colombia. Everybody heard about this guy, Dwight Eisenhower, right? He was the leader of the Allies in the Second World War. Then, several years later, he was the president of the United States for 2 terms, 8 years. But hardly anybody knows what he did in between. They parked him at Columbia to be president of Columbia University. For 8 years, he was president of Columbia University. And he came to the Senate meeting and told the faculty, you, the faculty, are employees of the university. So there was this little Jew in the corner. His name was Isidore I. Rabi. 3 years earlier, won the Nobel Prize in Physics. He raised his hand and told him, Mr. President, we, the faculty, are not employees of the university. We are the university. And I believe. So my idea is to trick the faculty to believe it's their idea. Okay, to own it. I wanted them to own it. So I created, I appointed a working group in September 2012. The leadership, which is me, the dean, and the vice deans, it's called associate deans, didn't participate. Only when invited, we came to tell them. Their charge was to define everything. Will it be extra teaching load or included in the extra? If it's extra, how much they will be paid? And all the questions that come up with this crazy program that can be large, and how to handle it. So, and I gave them 6 months, and they worked on it 6 months, and then they brought it to the vote of the faculty. 75% voted to do it. It was confidential vote. I don't know who voted against it, except one. It's a guy that left Georgia Tech and went to University of Michigan. And before he left, he met me and he said, Tzvi, I voted against it. Now I'm for it. But I don't know about the others. 3 major concerns: quality, quality, quality. It's the same quality. By the way, Noga was there at Princeton, right? Because this was like 5-7 years ago. So you're getting now a slightly different talk. Thanks for coming anyway. and Noga was my student in algorithm. I wasn't his advisor, but he was my student. I just discussed it with the guy, I'm not sure he's here, before, and I said, faculty position is the best job in the world. I believe it. The best job in the world, especially with tenure. Before tenure, maybe not. And the best part in it is advising PhD students. They are like your family. It's almost a notch below family. One of my students I mentioned to somebody that I didn't know is Moti Jung. He just was elected to the National Academy of Engineering. And he's a member in the other academy. We are both in the same academy as I'm in. And he's a superstar in cryptography. Do you know Moti? No. No, he's younger.
Yeah.
Who knows Moti?
I do.
You told me. Now, Georgia Tech is a state university. There are 21 universities of the state of Georgia, and they have a board. It's called the Board of Regents. That's the board of all these universities. And we had to get approval. After approval of the president and provost, we needed approval for them. The president and provost immediately supported us and took it through the same day, like it was with them. So we got all the approvals. Now, as I told you, launch 380 students, five courses. Even before it was announced, Sebastian and I went to the CEO of AT&T with the head, and I remember the date. Is January. I remember only one date, extra, the birthday of my wife. Otherwise, my life is in danger. So, January 11, 2013. Yes.
So now your wife will be.
You'll get 2%. We went on Friday. On Monday, he gave us $2 million. A year later, I went to him back and he gave me another $1 million. Why? What do they get from it? That's one of the questions. Why? Many students from AT&T, but they didn't get any break. They had to get in, everything, like every other students. He liked the idea. And there was somebody else, I forgot his name, that vouched for us. So we got some help, but that was crucial. Georgia Tech is a poor university. At that time, they didn't have $1 billion endowment, less than $1 billion endowment. At that time, Harvard had $33 billion. Now, they don't have yet $2 billion close, and Harvard has 56. And also endowment, they have $1 billion. Usually, big part of the endowment income is already dedicated to many things. So it's not a free money. Some of it for flexibility they have. So they couldn't fund it. And as you will see, getting courses was expensive because this is not simply online. It's online with the highest degree, with the highest quality. Because online existed almost before Abraham. That means 1870 or something, there was correspondence courses. Actually, at Columbia, we had a program called Columbia Video Network. What does it mean? They videotaped it, and then Amazon took it all over to the students to watch it, okay? And many universities had online, but very poor quality. That's what most of you did in the pandemic. Just record. We have a staff, actually professionals, that do it in very high quality. That usually places don't invest in this. This is our motto: accessibility through affordability and technology. The biggest word is access to reach many, many students. That's the most important thing for us. Here are the costs. So when I met the president and the provost, They say, I asked them to do it for $4,000 to break even. They say, do it for $7,000, just in case. As a result, this last year, we have a net. Net is all the tuition and fees minus all the expenses. And there are many expenses. Was $15 million. So, and that's peanuts compared to something else I'll tell you. I want to keep you in suspense because that's small money compared to what we cost to Georgia Tech. You will hear from me a little later. That's compared to $40,000 of public universities and $70,000 for private universities. I know in Israel, tuition is not of major concern. That's not the problem here. Everybody wants to learn in the US, in the best universities in the world. Georgia Tech is ranked 5th. In the US, not in the world. But
How much is it for in-state?
what?
For in-state, you talk about out of state.
25. But the state pays for them, they don't pay it at all. This is the first accredited MOOC-based degree. Because what we did, we went together with Udacity. Sebastian was CEO and founder of Udacity. That was his idea, and we used his platform. Okay. But these are not exactly MOOCs. It's MOOC technology, but they're not free courses. But everything else, it was from Udacity, so jointly with Udacity. But it was the first accredited degree. Before there were not degrees that could be done kind of online and so cheap. $7,000 in the US is ridiculous. Ridiculously cheap. So why did we do it? Why? Are you crazy? Our motto is progress and service. I believe it's both. It's progress and service. But this is the main reason. So if you want to learn one course because you need it to work, you take a MOOC. One course for free, you learn it. Good. Because you need one specific set of tools that are in one specific course. But usually people don't study for fun. They want degree. They want and need degrees. Okay. And indeed, in the MOOCs, you will see our survival rate, which was 85%. MOOCs, 7%. So people didn't survive. They minor difficulty at home or at work. They dropped. Here, once you pay a little bit, you continue for a while. So there was the credentials. MS and CS, most natural places to start. MS, you don't want to start with undergraduates and online. We'll get to undergraduates later. CS, because that's where the technology is. It was the right time for this program. We already did rapidly maturing technology of the MOOCs and dozen MOOCs with Coursera. We already did the MOOCs, and faculty love to teach MOOCs, even without pay. For the MOOCs, they were not paid, but they liked it. And they like to have 20,000 students or something. They like to have big numbers. This needs several, okay. Another reason, larger pool of prospective students, including non-traditional students, redefine learning, we will see, learning experience, more student-focused. Unbelievable. Online is more student-focused. Address shortage of computing professional. If you want to ask me later, we had all the problems with computer science now, with hiring of computer science. But that's master. It doesn't, we still grew. Address shortage of trained computing teachers. There is big. They teach computing programming in high school. But they don't have teachers. And computer science, people with computer science degree or half degree, they go to industry and make 5 times more than teachers. It's not an attractive vis-a-vis the pay. So far, 67,000 applicants from the beginning. Admission rate 80%. Are you insane? We accept 80% of all the applicants.
What is the requirement?
There are several requirements. I'll get to it in a moment. So usually I tell the students, take 2 breaths before you ask a question, because in 5 minutes I'll answer it anyway. In normal universities, they are proud to reject. They love rejecting because it's called selectivity. The less they accept, they are ranked higher. It's for rankings. So, for example, in undergraduate, which is even more extreme than master's degrees, number 1 is Harvard, 3.2%. They love rejecting. And several others in the 3s and then 4s, about 10 of them under 10. Master is usually 15%, 20%. So this is what they prefer. We prefer to accept everybody that can do it. And there are requirements. One major one is programming. You have to know how. We did not require GRE. Anybody knows what GRE is?
Graduate record examination.
Graduate, it's, but GRE people can do GRE if they have a major in computer science. We wanted majors, other majors.
Oh, there is GRE also general. Aptitude.
No, but usually you take only GRE in computer science. But we don't, instead what you do, we don't accept you. We tentatively accept you. And then in the first year, which means 2, 3, or 4 courses, you have to get B in all the courses you take in order to formally be accepted. Okay? So that's how we, so some students even don't know into programming, you take a MOOC to learn.
But you don't require a first degree in computer science.
What?
You don't require a first degree in computer science.
No. No. No.
It's the first degree in anything.
Yes. It's a master. You cannot get PhD without going to kindergarten. Majority working professional in IT, 2/3 domestic, about 1/3 international. On campus, it's the other way around. 1/3 domestic and 2/3 international.
Domestics are Americans or from
US.
what land? Georgia. Or Georgia.
Domestic is Americans.
America.
Yeah, no, not.
Okay.
We don't care about the state.
Okay.
By the way, when we started to tell this, and there were all the naysayers, all those that say, you're destroying the brand. So you'll see several reasons why we didn't destroy the brand, we enhanced it. Or they say nobody will take it. You know, you will see applications, what happens. Nobody will go to Georgia Tech. Especially the domestic students, they want such junk, they won't study with you. 2/3 are domestic, okay? So that already refutes. Also, it shows that the population on campus and online are different. It's a different population. We'll have another slide soon. So we're not cannibalizing. We're expanding the market. We're not cannibalizing. They don't move from on campus because it's cheaper. Maybe some do, but very few. So recently, these are just in the last 4 years, the number of applications. So we know there is a problem now, but mostly for programmers. It's mostly for programmers. And you don't need to do a degree in computer science to be a programmer. And certainly not a master's degree in computer science. So we didn't have, some universities are hurt because some students go to major in computer science, just do a lot of programming. Doesn't apply. Enrollments, yes.
Do you mean that it doesn't apply because people that graduate from computer science they do programming?
They need programming, of course.
Why doesn't it affect?
They need programming, but computer science degree is much more than programming.
Yeah.
So, and usually those that now getting much less jobs are programmers. Those that just do the programming. But we require the incoming students to be good in programming already. So they could have worked. Now we'll have to stop it. But as you see, the applications still going up. Well, keep it for later.
What does the S stand for here?
Where?
56,007 SOO. What is this?
Typo.
Okay.
Typo.
Where is the typo?
Should be 5.
Okay, never mind. 19,000 enrolled, that we said already. The first red one is another difference between the population. They're older. Online master's degree are older, 7 years older. Usually you go after BA, you're 22 in America, 18 plus 4, not in Israel. And there they are 29. By the way, we have all ages. We have 4 students in the late 70s. So, but not so many old people. 2/3 US citizens or permanent residents, all states and territories in 140 countries. 140 countries in our program. So this is, you see, that's a little old, but I didn't check it lately. 18% with prior master degree, not in computer science. They have a master in something. And 6% have PhD. Why? I hope you know, computer science is the hottest discipline in higher education. It's crazy. It wasn't like that when we were younger. And advanced students, you know, with master, with PhD, they need it for the research, but not only programming. They need methodologies and other things from computer science, and it helps them. So people with PhD take it, some of them. This is something I'm very proud of. Minorities. 3 types. On campus, 3.8%. Online, 11 something percent. So you have a bright black woman, but she needs to work. You know, many times she can get a fellowship, but not always. She needs to work. She needs to move. She can't.
This is for applicants, for graduating, this number.
That's for the number of students in program. Okay. International enrollment. So this is on campus. The usual suspect. India number 1, China number 2, number 3 is much smaller. Online, the only difference is China is number 1 and India is number 2. Canada is already much smaller, and Singapore even smaller. Why did I include Singapore? Because they are number 1 per capita. I think you know Singapore is a city-state with 5.4 million people, okay? So per capita, they're even higher than in US. And I told you 131 lectures in 20 countries. Of course, I was in Singapore, and they interact socially. So they compensate for lack of campus life by meeting once a month. You will see they do more. So they organized one for me, because it wasn't the right date, but it was wonderful. Okay. So they interact mostly studying, but they also meet socially. Retention, what does it mean? We look on all matriculating students, how many of them graduated or are still in the program? And you remember they were tentative admission and admission. From the tentative admits, it's 68%. From the formally completely admitted is 85, which is comparable. You look at master program in the best universities, 85, sometimes 90.
What does still enrolled mean? I mean, can you be enrolled forever?
No. 7 years. But sometimes they give you excuses and we have soft hearts. And they pay.
Pay. I mean, they pay per year.
They pay per course.
Of course.
Unbelievable use of social media, all of them. And they don't, normal students use social media, but they use it for social life and for love life. They use it for study. And some of them help other students, with everything, which is fine. These are some three interesting stories. On the left, husband and wife. That's a t-shirt. Sometimes I come to the lectures with this t-shirt. A husband and wife. On the right, this guy, they're all graduated already, but this guy was an officer in the Indian Army, and he served in the Himalayas. In the Himalayas, there is a base camp where you get there in the lower level. And but he didn't serve in a base camp. He served much higher. But once a week or 2 weeks, he went down to the base camp because only there he had internet connection. This is my favorite. A driver of a garbage truck in New York City. He has a family, you see, a wife and 2 kids. And when he finished, he got a job in computing, but he kept driving his car because that's his story. He loved it. He couldn't stop. And OMSCS is very good for either veterans or people that are serving in the army but planning to go to civilian life. Take a look at the guy second from the left. You may recognize him. He's with a different apparel here. Like everything in universities, they get seminars. So he gave a seminar on transition to civilian life for the military. So that was his seminar. Every year we take a survey. 97% say it's worth the investment. 97 recommend to others. 81 help their career. 48 it helped them secure higher salary. 36 join new workplace since completing OMSCS. 25 have been promoted since completing OMSCS. 6% have started teaching. 5% transitioned in the tech industry. They didn't do tech well. I want to emphasize the 6% teachers. There is huge shortage of teachers. Now, this was done when the number of students were 8,000, but only 4,000 filled the survey. 6% of 4,000 to 40, 50. Probably double because the other half is probably similar numbers. So, but at least 250 more teachers, which is great. Lesson learned. These are the two biggest lessons we learned. One, there is a large mistake. There is a huge unmet demand. Okay. We didn't anticipate. Two, you can't learn from what you don't try. So we did, people say, oh, you can only do it in computer science. The second one was in the business. We'll see. And there are areas that you cannot do it. For example, hey, can you do, if the course has labs, like in engineering, not computer science labs is writing programs, but in engineering, you have labs. Can you do it? Arizona State does it. How do they do it? Once they come to campus in the summer for 3 weeks and they may have 2 labs. They may do both of them during condensed version. So you can have labs. Also, students are highly engaged, officially and unofficially, interacting via self-creating social media groups. providing significant peer support. They were helping one another. There is an amazing story of the TA, teaching assistants. When we started growing in the first couple of years, we saw we're growing. I thought, what will be the obstacle? What will be the challenge to grow it? Can we grow it indefinitely? And the biggest challenge was TA. And in the online, we did like on campus, one TA for every 50 students. They, of course, graded, but plus were kind of advisors. People could go to the TA to ask questions about the course, etc. So I thought we will run out of TAs. So we had three kinds of TAs. So here we had 570 TAs. Now we have 700. Imagine 700 TAs for one program. So the black lines is something you do everywhere. First of all, on-campus students can be TAs, masters or PhD. Masters, they took the course and they're good. We do it everywhere for the master program. But here, with this, we would run out quickly. We, on the other hand, decided to take OMSCS alumni. Now, normal TAs are time limited. They're there a year or two, bye-bye. Here, they love to do it. They love to be connected to the university. They tell their friends, I work at Georgia Tech.
How much I was paid?
Pay not great. Actually, the first two has big advantage because they get tuition, which is huge. OMSCS, not the first one. The second one, OMSCS students, the tuition is low, not that much. They are paid by the hour. The third one, they even don't have tuitions, they graduate. But they still love it. And actually, at that time that we counted, 67 were 5 years TAs. And actually one of them was 10 years TAs. And in the TA applications, we actually rejected 100. We couldn't get them all. I told them, baby, try again next semester. And some of them did, I don't know who. But. So, faculty teaching in OMSCS, I'm a strong believer in incentives. You know, if you're non-tenured, you volunteer sometimes, even for a longer period. But after a while, you know, and you know, in university, a dean or a president cannot tell the faculty what to do. They will laugh him out of the rooms, certainly if they have tenure. Cannot give orders. So you need incentives. I'm a strong believer in incentives. Just to create a course, 30,000. It takes 1 month. We have professional people on videos, on recording. 90% of the online usually was just you record. Maybe a student, you record the class. That's it. Here, it's much, much better quality. And they get 30K, and it's justified because they work on it one full semester. And they tape and retape and correct. What's not, initially, we put into the budget model that every year we need 5% of the total to change the courses. Turn out, not all the courses are changed, and the faculty do it themselves, and they're not paid, and they do it because they want the product to be good. You created a course, but you don't always teach it. 10K, each time you are the professor of record. You don't teach because it's recorded, but you have office hours and manage the school, manage the course. The 10K is somewhat generous. In addition, everybody that created the course that is given get royalty to 2.5K. But then we saw almost all of them teach for 10 years. They keep teaching it. We lose some of them that leave Georgia Tech, and one or two that get tired from it. But most of them keep teaching it, so we don't need to give them royalty. We don't give them royalty now, but we give them 15 instead of the 10. So you see, each course that is given costs us $45,000. That goes to the minus in the net computation. We also invented the first AITA. Now, IBM had a program called Watson, named after T.J. Watson Lab. It's NLP, Natural Language Processing. Okay, and we used it to be the first AITA. We call her Jill Watson, and Jill can do many, but not the most complicated. That's true also for the math. Though Noga is worried that this AI also will wipe out math, but I'm not sure. And so right now it's using Jill, we call her Jill Watson. It's using 20 courses. There are other users of AI. There are other projects of online tool and plagiarism detection.
I remember that she got TA of the semester.
What?
She got best TA. I remember
Once,
those times.
in the student evaluations. So Harvard, together with help from Georgia Tech, after 3 years did a research about the program. They said vast majority of OMSCS would not pursue advanced degree if not for this program. They wouldn't be able to do it. This is the first rigorous evidence that we know of showing an online degree program can increase educational attainment, more and more degrees. It's the largest MSCS program in the United States, I told you, but now in the world, or maybe the universe. This single program will boost annual national production of American computer science master's degree by at least 8%. Impact, as I told you, the naysayer said, you're destroying your brand. Nobody wants to, many people will not go for it. So this is on campus. We look at the first 5 years of OMSCS, it rose by 125%. And so that means more than doubled. But if you look for all the years since it was generated, it's tripled. So a number of applications tripled. Let's not destroy the brand.
This is in Georgia Tech or all over the US?
No, that's just Georgia Tech OMS master. That's MSCS in Georgia Tech.
In Georgia Tech, on
number of applications tripled.
This is physical application.
Yes.
On campus. But what about the US?
No, I showed you applications before MSCS. But brand is also undergraduates. What happened with the undergraduates? There, the picture is better, and not all the credit go to OMSCS, other reasons. So the first 5 years, more than 6 times. But if you go since 2008, more than 13 times the number of applications to the college in Georgia. So measuring success, all courses are top quality check, identical online and on-campus assessment check, enrollment scales check, financial viability and forensics. Those of you who like money, I'll tell you about the finances in a minute. We created 2 more programs in data analytics and in cybersecurity. You remember when I counted the courses, there were extra courses. That's for these 2 programs. But some students on OMSCS, they can take these courses also. Here are the finances. Initially, producing a course cost us $300K. That's why this $4 million from AT&T were crucial. Otherwise, we would have to do it much, much slower. and maybe we will not scale. So, and you see, the first 5 courses took 8 months because we announced in March and started in January. So, or maybe 10 months or something like that. The net is $15 million. The college, I was smart enough to negotiate with the administration who gets what. So we get 35%. So just imagine, College of Computing has $4.5 million more in the budget. So those of you who are chairs here, you know what it means. As a result, also, we grew quite a lot. Also, in the first 5 years, Udacity got 20% of the net because they provided the platform. I negotiated with Sebastian, so he wanted 40% because that was the other people took. So I got 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. When I tried to get to 15, he started crying. So, and I love him, he's the one with the idea. But after 5 years, we do it ourselves. We don't need Udacity for this. You say 4.5 million, you say 15 million. It's a large number. It's peanuts. This is something I usually you get a bonus because usually I don't tell it because everybody in Georgia Tech shudders when this is mentioned and I explain why. The State of University of Georgia, I told you, 21 universities. And they are funded by the state of Georgia, gives them money. How to compute? They have a formula fund. And the main component of the formula funding is enrollment. Enrollment, the number of students. And they include online. And they are afraid that one day somebody will wake up and say, no, don't include online. Or just half, or whatever. Now guess, so what happens is the state gives to the system, and then the system gives to each university not exactly their share, but half, because they need to keep the money for the poor ones. They have their own budget. So guess how much it is now. I'm not sure now, but a year ago, $150 million. George, I didn't know about it. I didn't negotiate a part. I beat myself. But $150 million, every year, they get $150 million. Unbelievable. What is the time? I need to know. Oh, here. Wow. Okay. So Illinois went after us, and we had 2 more. I said Illinois now has 3 too, and now 50 more degree programs by 30 universities went in our footsteps. They are not as cheap. Nobody is cheap because we were crazy. They are like 10,000 or 20,000, which is still very cheap for America. These are the 3 biggest. 2 are ours. OMSCS by itself, 30% of the students of Georgia Tech, one shitty program. 30%. Of the graduate enrollment, almost 50. And if we take the 2 other programs, 45% and 70%. 70% of the graduate students are in these 3 programs. So this is the part I will not go into because we are running out of time. We started giving on undergraduate course. We plan to move partially to undergraduate. I'm against doing undergraduate degree online in full. College has other purposes, not only teaching the staff, getting the kids to grow, to learn how to behave with others. You cannot deny them this part. If it's adults, you can do, if you are 70 and you want to do a BS, we let you do it online. So this is the course into using culture, the basic of, and 50%. This helped us, these 3 courses that we did, terrific teaching evaluation, also high school students. There is 50% of the college students take it online because it's flexible, they can take it anytime they want. It's not fixed time for the classes. The exams give some fixed times because you cannot give the exam many options. So half of the busiest courses, as a result, it helps the university have more students. Once students don't come to campus, they can get more students and fill the dorms. So the usual tuition doesn't go down. The online is only extra. 2 more courses on undergraduate. Object-oriented programming with Java and the baby algorithms course. And I won't go into this. My vision is take a few courses before coming to Georgia Tech. When you go on internship, take 1 course. And when you end, take it from OMSCS. A big if and question is whether the university will agree to take lower tuition. I believe they should because they don't lose it. It's only extra. Another program is a teacher. You see the blue thing is the students. The 2 lines are teachers, lecturers, and teachers. The online helps with the teachers. These are the heroes, our faculty. OMSCS won 3 prizes and was in 12 or 1,300 articles in the media. On the left, front page of the New York Times. I don't know about here. Here maybe is different, but in the US, usually a president is on the front page if he's fired. So we were on the front page of the New York Times. We were weekend interview. That's the best article every week in Wall Street Journal. Is the weekend interview, Wall Street Journal, and we were Forbes. That was in the beginning. Later we had the best ever, but that's the beginning. Also internationally, you may recognize this is Italian, and on the right it's catalyzed. It also appeared in the English version of catalyzed. And these are the 3 biggest supporters. Each of them is unbelievable. On the left is Michael Crow. He's probably the best American president. He's a big supporter. And I told you, he's president of Arizona State, the one that used the projects, the labs. The second one is probably the best Black scientist. He's a member of the National Academy of Science. He is a winner of the Presidential Medal for Science. He's a member of American Mathematical Society and American Physical Society. I don't know many that have all these 4, And the third one, I call it the Queen of the MOOCs, teaches a MOOC that is called Learning How to Learn. It's not computer science. She has had so far over 6 million students.
The course is wonderful.
And I showed you the front page article in the New York Times. Jim Gates is quoted there, okay? And that's his quote. Prof. Galil and Sebastian Tran is proved to be the right brother of MOOCs, said Sylvester James Gates, University of Maryland physicist who serves on President Obama's Council, PCAST, President Council of Advisors of Science and Technology. This is the first deliberate and thoughtful attempt to apply education technology to bring instruction to scale. It could be epoch-making if it really works. It could begin the process of lowering the cost of education and lowering barriers for millions of men. And I asked him, Jim, why Wright brothers? We're not doing anything with airplanes. So he said, no, you're doing. You just prove that MOOCs can fly. So I told him, Jim, no. We are not the Wright brothers. We are the wrong brothers. So now you know how to spell right and wrong. And that more reading, CACM is the most prevalent journal of ACM. All ACM members, 120,000 of them get it. Not sure they read it, but two articles, one by me and one by Kishore, was the chair of the task force. And the second one was also on the cover. And he also appeared in 3 books that appeared since then, on a chapter on OMSCS. And last but not least, our president just announced that he's leaving Georgia Tech, gave a talk in Open edX. edX is one of the platforms, MIT Harvard. And they have a conference, Open edX, every year. He gave a lecture. The title of the lecture was Thinking University Access, Affordability, and Excellence at Scale. His name is Angel Cabrera. I told you already one joke about the universe. I'll tell you two more jokes. It's a fantastic talk if you're interested. Just Google this title. 2 other jokes. One, he said, OMSCS has proved that universities can not only be good, universities cannot only be perfect, they can be good. And he also said that this bunch of crazy innovators, they actually improved Georgia Tech, and actually more than that, they improved higher education in the United States. Thank you. Thank you for staying till the end. And Amos